Do you believe that just a few cheap rivets, the kind that usually lie forgotten in a toolbox, can help your TV receive a clearer signal without buying a new antenna? With only a few simple steps, we can take advantage of the rivet's shape and electrical conductivity to improve signal reception. I will also use this broken Samsung charger and combine it with these rivets to help improve the signal reception of the homemade antenna. Or if you have any charger at all, you can absolutely reuse it in a similar way. In the next step, you just need to open the charger casing to remove the circuit board inside, making sure to work gently and carefully so you don't damage any components that can still be reused. After removing the circuit board, I will drill 2 small holes in the upper part of the charger casing, positioned symmetrically, to serve as mounting points for installing the next components of the DIY antenna. Next, I take 2 short pieces of electrical wire and solder them onto the charger circuit board. Making sure the connections are secure and clean so they can effectively conduct the signal for the antenna. Don't forget to like and subscribe for my channel. Please watch the video until the end and let me know which method you like most. I look forward to hearing from you. After that, I attach 2 bolts to the end of the wires I've just soldered, tightening them firmly to ensure good contact and to create solid connection points for the antenna in the next step. I pass the 2 bolts through the 2 pre-drilled holes in the charger cover, making sure the bolt heads face outward for easy connection and adjustment. Then, I double-check the position of the wires inside to ensure they aren't pinched or crushed, and reassemble the charger casing back to its original state. To make everything more secure, I add a nut to each bolt and tighten it snugly to lock it firmly to the charger cover. This prevents the connection points from loosening during use and ensures long-term stability for the homemade antenna. And now for the special part to boost signal reception. I'll prepare an additional electrical terminal block to serve as the signal receiver and optimize the overall signal pickup of the entire DIY antenna. This terminal block has about 10 connection points, and I will cut it into 2 equal parts, with 5 terminals on each side to make it easier to arrange and more flexible to use in the homemade antenna system. Now I will loosen the screws on each terminal, create enough space to insert the rivets one by one, preparing for the assembly of the most important signal receiving elements of the DIY antenna. When the rivets are installed and spread out horizontally, they begin to act as passive signal receiving elements. Thanks to their parallel arrangement and sufficient metal length, The rivets increase the surface area exposed to electromagnetic waves in the air. As television signals pass through, small induced currents are generated on the metal surfaces, which are then collected to the terminal block and conducted via the wires into the circuit. I do the same with the remaining terminal block. Next, I take a long copper wire and begin wrapping it evenly around the ends of the rivets, making sure the wire makes good contact with the metal surfaces. Wrapping the copper wire this way links all the rivets into a single unified conductive cluster, allowing induced signals to be collected more efficiently and transmitted more stably to the antenna circuit inside. After finishing the copper wire wrapping and securing the rivets, I now mount the entire terminal block assembly onto the 2 bolts on the charger. Tightening them firmly to ensure good electrical contact and to complete the structural connection between the signal receiving section and the internal circuit. I attach the 2 terminal block assemblies one by one onto the 2 bolts on the charger casing, align them properly, then tighten additional nuts to secure them firmly. This ensures the entire signal receiving assembly does not shift and that all contact points remain stable during use. The remaining copper wire is neatly coiled and secured directly to the lower bolt, both making full use of the wire's length to enhance signal reception and keeping the overall structure clean and more secure. After completing the signal receiving section, I move on to making the antenna connector for the TV. This part needs to be designed so it can connect directly and securely to the newly installed receiving assembly, ensuring that the signal from the DIY antenna is transmitted stably to the TV's antenna input without loss. To create the antenna connector for the TV, I need to prepare an additional power socket to serve as the casing and mounting point for connections, making the link to the front signal receiving assembly more secure and organized. Next, I take a length of antenna coaxial cable and connect it directly inside the power socket, positioning it so that once finished, the signal receiver can be plugged in securely. This approach creates a flexible connector that is easy to install, while ensuring the signal from the receiving assembly is transmitted directly and reliably to TV. I take the antenna coaxial cable and cut off the original connector, keeping only the length of cable I need. I gently strip the outer insulation to expose the inner copper core and the shielding braid, then arrange and shape them neatly. Redesigning the cable end this way helps it fit the power socket more appropriately. I attach the prepared coaxial cable inside the power socket, securing the copper core and the shielding braid in their proper positions, then tighten the clamps so the cable won't come loose. Once the socket casing is closed, the connector is fully finished and ready to connect directly to the signal receiver and feed the signal into the TV. I carefully reassemble the power socket, making sure all internal components and connections remain properly aligned. Once the casing is closed and screws are tightened, the socket is fully reinstalled, providing a stable and safe mounting point for the DIY antenna system. On the other end of the coaxial cable, I attach a suitable connector to connect directly to the TV's cable input, ensuring that the signal from the DIY receiver is transmitted straight and stably. Now, all that's left is to plug the signal receiver into the power socket, and the entire system is ready to operate. The signals collected by the rivets and copper wire are transmitted directly to the TV, delivering a stable picture without the need for any additional equipment. Next, I take the DIY antenna setup and test it with the TV to see how well it performs. Now, I plug the cable connector into the TV's antenna input, ensuring it fits securely to establish a stable signal path from the DIY receiver. Now, I begin the channel scanning process on the TV, allowing it to detect and store all available channels that the DIY signal receiver can pick up, while also checking whether the signals from the rivets and copper wire are functioning stably. The TV received a total of 32 channels, all displaying clearly and stably. This demonstrates that the DIY signal receiver using rivets, copper wire, and a broken charger works effectively, providing signal reception comparable to many commercial antennas, while remaining cost-effective and creative. After completing the scan, the TV displays all available channels with sharp and stable images, without any interference or signal loss. When I unplug the signal receiver from the power socket, the TV completely loses signal, with all channels disappearing immediately. This shows that the entire DIY antenna system relies entirely on the connection to the receiver. Overall, this DIY signal receiver works effectively, picking up 32 channels clearly and stably, proving that the idea of using rivets, copper wire, and a broken charger is feasible. Its strengths lie in the low cost, the use of readily available materials, and the ease of home fabrication. Great results! Do you like this idea? Thanks for watching the video. Goodbye and see you in the next video.